German polka.
That's the music put out by Spotify. I don't know.
Can't trust Spotify.
That's some good German music right there. I got it off of Spotify. I don't know how accurate it is, but maybe we can be verified. I'm podcasting live. This is Beer Me 3 from the closet. My wife put me in here because she wanted to watch 16 and Pregnant or We're Pregnant. We Were Irresponsible or some shit like that. I don't know. It's not Dr. Oz. I forget which doctor they're with. It's not Dr. Oz. It's somebody else, but whatever. Maybe. Let's see here. I'm going to turn down some of this music. This music gets crazy here in a bit, but I'll have it playing still in the background. Yeah, thanks for joining us for Oktoberfest. It's our most jam-packed episode yet. We got 2 guests today. We got Randall all the way from Hawaii and Jake over in Hutto, our avid beer listener, beer enthusiast. Guys, y'all doing all right? Yeah, doing all right? Okay, good.
Yeah, doing well.
I'm brought here today by the Reverend Rick. He's our official German heritage wedding officiant.
Yep, I'm legally ordained, ladies.
What is going on?
I don't know. It's not working.
That's at your house, Jacob.
No, I've just been working. I've been working and drinking beer. That's about it.
Are y'all listening to TV over there? It is so loud.
Who? Am I loud?
Yes.
No, I'm not listening to TV. Do I need to move?
No. Yeah, you probably need to move to another room. You're super loud, and that's all I'm saying. But whatever. While Jacob relocates, we're going to turn that guy down a little bit because he's hogging up on it. It's okay. It still didn't turn you down, did it? I think it's still going to stay loud. Also, oh yeah, so we got Teresa also, the running Titan. How's it going?
Hey, it's good. Just got back from a run, actually.
Tell us, you can maybe inform us on how the search for the Great Pumpkin is going.
So, because I have that run coming up on Sunday, I actually decided to go sober for 2 weeks. So this is the first, well, I had mimosas on Sunday. This is the first beer I've had since last podcast.
That doesn't count.
Mimosas didn't count. I didn't catch a buzz.
Sunday mimosas never count.
They
Are you in a closet, by the way?
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm podcasting live from the closet. You know, this
What happened?
is Beer Me 3, episode 12. I'm just gonna redo our intro. I don't know what's going on with Jacob. He has it way too loud at his house. Can we just redo this? Can I?
Yes, please. Can we? This was the most horribly, interestingly awkward intro ever.
I'm sorry, you 5
Our
viewers.
one live person. Hello.
I'm bringing back my song again. I don't care. Oh God. Excellent, excellent. Okay, here we go. We're restarting our intro. It's episode 12 of Beer Me 3, podcasting live from the closet. Not that I'm in the closet. Well, I mean, I'm in the closet, but not that
Are
I
you
ever
trapped
came.
in the closet?
I
You know what I
think I
mean.
see R. Kelly behind you.
Maybe that's it. You know what? I'm actually sitting on my wife's yoga ball. If you want to look at this thing right here,
Okay, I thought you were
Oh,
bouncing.
working out that core.
I don't have a lot of space in here. But my wife's watching, like I said, what is it? That show with the pregnant teenagers, whatever it may be.
Irma Gerd, the condom
pregnant
broke. That's the
teenagers.
show.
Yeah, we had Jacob in here, but he was just way too loud. So I'm sorry, Jacob. I had to turn down your volume, and then for whatever reason, it booted you. I didn't boot you, so if you can join back, but please join back in another room. Anyways,
I booted him. It was me.
we got the Reverend Rick, German heritage. I was just reading my notes all together just now. It's just, the Reverend Rick here to share his German heritage and his wedding officiating skills here. How's it going, Rick? You doing all right?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just got back from a vacation where I wed one of my best friends in the world, and I'm ready to drink some beer.
Man, I thought you got married this weekend. I was like, how's he not going to tell us that he got married this weekend? I was looking at your photos, and I was about to say congratulations. I was like, why is he officiating his own wedding? That's weird.
Hey, congratulations on getting married.
Oh yeah, yeah. Congratulations, anyways.
And
And then yeah, you know, back.
thank you, Randall. You're wedding.
So, also, we have Teresa, the running titan, and she's gonna fill us in on an update for the search for the great pumpkin beer. It's excellent. How's that going? You said not that you look like you just came back from a run, but you said you came back from a run. I don't want to.
Yeah, I did it. Well, it was a quick 3-mile run with some friends, and I haven't drank a lot of beer since the last podcast, since I tried to cut out the alcohol before the race. But
Just a quick 3-mile run.
Yeah, I was half asleep.
Whatever.
But yeah, it's going well. I think I've got, of my single bottles, I've got like 2 left to try, and then I've got the bombers. But I was planning on sharing those with some friends, so I will keep you guys posted.
Did you do the Oaked Jack one yet?
Mm-mm.
Or the Oak Jack?
No, that's one of the ones I specifically wanted to share with my friends, because I told her I got it. She's like, oh my god. So.
Okay,
soon.
do. It's very good. So.
Soon.
Okay, cool. How is the search for the great pumpkin beer going so far?
It's going. Got a couple singles left, and then just the bombers to go through. I say just the bombers. There's like 4.
Huh. All right. And I have. Sorry, I was distracted. Jacob is texting me saying I blocked him, but I'm like, it's not blocked. I don't know how you got left. So. Oh, Oktoberfest podcast kicking off. Yeah. Well, we were gonna have special guest and
Yes.
beer enthusiast Jake the Snake, but Jake the Snake is, I don't know, he's doing his own thing. We're gonna have to get him back on the show at a later time. I don't know. He's drinking a Beta Oktoberfest. Maybe he can tweet me some of his notes. I don't know what's going on with him, but I'm surprised to see Randall here. He actually made an effort to come out here and join us and bestow his heavenly presence on us.
Hi, everybody.
Beautiful. Straight to the point.
Maybe you can fill us in. Randall, where have you been? What have you seen? What have you done? Did you kill a man?
Maybe. I did drink the Rogue soda, and that was not very good. Do not
Poor
recommend.
soul. Poor soul.
Other than that, I don't drink beer.
Okay. Well,
Hence his joining of a beer podcast. Beautiful.
Yep. Hey, I was asked to come on here, man.
I will say this too. I've had friends that said that their favorite part was Randall. So, just letting you know.
Well, there you go. I have
You
been. I was making my own moonshine type of deal for a while, but then I stopped doing that.
Ooh.
Damn, son.
wait, that was a real thing? I thought you were making that up.
No, I made my own mixed moon style drink that I went to a, for lack of a better words, company function and got totally drunk on and started like yelling whenever anybody won an award, and yeah. It's good stuff. I passed it around to my coworkers. They really enjoyed it. So if I ever actually make it like professionally or whatever, I might just start doing that to sell.
Can you actually find that like in stores out there? Like, can you buy moonshine in Hawaii?
Yeah, the Hawaiians have their own version of a moonshine. It's called Okolehau. I wasn't using that one though. I've been meaning to buy a bottle and make a mix of that and see how that goes. This one I made with what's the name of the company? Hold on a second. I got a bottle here. Old Smoky Moonshine. Pineapple Moonshine.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
Old Smokies everywhere.
Now, I appreciate the moonshine talk, but we have a lot of stuff to cover, and
How
this
about
is
beer?
this is
Beer?
Oktoberfest. This is Oktoberfest podcast.
You
Beer?
know what, Miguel, sit down. We're gonna talk about beer today, Miguel. You're getting all excited over there.
October Beer Me 3.
Beer?
Okay, man, we were talking, but we're gonna go over the history, and then we got some. We're also gonna talk about some headline news. I think about the buyout from InBev, all that stuff.
Hey, where's Jacob at?
Jacob,
He's gone.
apparently when I
Matrix ticking.
apparently when I turned down, he's saying I blocked him, but I didn't hit the eject button. There's a specific eject button there, but whatever.
Are you just covering your butt because he's listening in, and you're like, well, I didn't block you, dude. I don't know, network trouble. This
No.
is crazy.
Maybe
Computers, right?
It's the force field. I'm podcasting from live in the closet, man, and I'm also on my wife's computer, but it has an HD camera. I'm like distracted by how good my image looks right now. I mean, I'm like, dang, whatever. But
Yeah, narcissism, right? Woo!
as I started my sampling earlier in the week, I was perplexed by my lack of effort to try more Oktoberfest earlier in my life. It's just something that I didn't think, and in anticipation for this week's podcast, I went and made an effort to actually buy some more Oktoberfest. And as Rick pointed out, I actually bought this Leinen Kugel's Harvest Patch Shandy, which is just I don't want to even call it a pumpkin flavored beer. I think it's just like looking like their autumn shandy. It's not even pumpkin flavor from what I read on the reviews. But I'm excited. I got Lobo Oktoberfest, which is said to be the number one Oktoberfest beer in the state of Texas. This is brewed in Fredericksburg, which is just a couple hours down up from Corpus, and I got free samples. Let me tell you this little story. I was out tutoring. I tutored from 6 to 7, and then my wife asked me to pick up some boxes, so of course I had to go to the liquor store to pick up these boxes because, I mean, they got a ton of boxes there, and I wanted to see what else they had, and they had a nice little sampling event going. Oh, God. A nice little sampling event going on, and I signed up for the little raffle. I was surprised to see that there's people giving out samples of beer and stuff, and I looked for an Oktoberfest beer since we were doing this podcast, and I found that Lobo was giving out a free thing. Also Goliad, which is another beer I tried out this week from Goliad Brewing, their Oktoberfest. So they were both there. Tried both of them out. Goliad, nice lager, nice cream mouthfeel to it. Lobo is also has a little more crisp than the Goliad in terms of mouthfeel. But I told the representative there at Lobo that I was doing a little podcast, and he was like, "Hey man, I'll give you a discount on this beer if you want to try it out for your podcast." And I was like, "This is the whole point of the podcast. Was this?"
I know, right? To sell out and get cheap beer. Come on, corporate sponsors. We'll be right back after this commercial break. See you practice, Miguel. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I mean, hey, that you guys bought Sad Miller. Buy Beer Me 3. And Bev, come on.
Yep.
Hey,
Man,
why
it's
didn't you invite the guy from the liquor store onto the podcast?
I did, but he's busy passing out. Well, actually, he's just ending his sampling, and he's gonna go home. But the guy from Goliad gave me his card, and actually I have his information here. He went on YouTube while there and was looking for our podcast and stuff. But
And he's
Mr.
like,
Joe,
I can't find it.
No, from Goliad. Oh wait, camera's over here. Shit. From Goliad Brewing, he said he wouldn't mind coming onto the show, but also bringing samples and stuff. I was like, oh god, we gotta get a central location now.
Do they have a Twitter
Where's
account?
Goliad, Texas?
No, Goliad Brewing.
Yeah, Goliad Brewing. I don't know if they have a Twitter. This doesn't have. Oh yeah,
Give them a shout out.
yeah, it's right there. So shout out to Goliad Brewing. I'll find them and then I'll tweet them later on. But
Are they in Goliad, Texas?
yeah, Goliad, Texas. And being from Gray Creek, Texas, we actually played them. Goliad's like a population of 2,000 people. It's super small, if not smaller than that. And Gray Creek actually played them a few times in sports. And I heard when he was saying where he was from and the location, I was like, man, Gray Creek used to play you guys. I came from this tiny rural town. Yeah, we played them, and now they're brewing. It's another surprise that they're brewing such good beer because they are a small town. Then there's also Eola, Texas, and Rowena, Texas, that are producing these excellent beers, but such a small town that somebody like Rick will probably never encounter or be able to sample these beers unless he actually comes to Texas and sample them. But,
Sad.
Hey, Rick,
It's all
you going to Texas?
Nope.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I'm
Good for
okay
you.
if Texas. I'm okay if Texas secedes.
Hey.
all my exes live in Texas.
It's ironic that you live in a worse state than Texas, and you're like, no, Texas can go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll bring the average up and make Florida look better.
You know, the origin of bath salt zombie behaviors in Florida, and
Hey,
you're
no,
like, no,
that's-
Texas is worse.
Okay, that's South Florida, and that might as well be Cuba. Just saying.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like
Does
there's
not count.
a lot of boundaries in Florida.
Well,
I'm aware of,
Yeah,
but
I know. I'm basically in Georgia at this point, so I really can't say much.
Huh. Well,
C'est la vie.
so I fell into a deep. I guess I had this experience of being in this like deep level of awareness, human awareness, just perplexed by another level of consciousness, if you say, by drinking all these like Oktoberfest, because I have never experienced it before, and this is all part of the podcast. I knew this was going to happen in the first year of this podcast because we're making our way through all these different brands. So like, I mean, next year, given that we're here doing this again next year, I hope so, but when Oktoberfest returns, it's going to be like, oh yeah, I remember trying all these beers, and these are going to be the beers that I want to try again for next year. But you know, this podcast is serving its full purpose when I can still, you know, encounter profoundness and insight or perception, just the understanding of craft beer, and then be pivoted to another realm of appreciation. I mean, it's Oktoberfest. This is like such an exciting episode for me. But anyways, I digress. Okay. So, I don't have the cool sound effects to go into because I'm on this other computer that has low RAM, whatever, but it has the HD camera that makes me look amazing in this closet. Jeez. But, yeah,
Beautiful.
if we want to...
Beautiful.
So let's get into the history of this, Rick. Maybe you can give me some history on Oktoberfest. Why am I drinking a spring beer in the fall?
Oh man, spoiler alert, first and foremost. Come on. Miguel, you were raised better than this. Okay, so to talk about this beer, let's talk about the history of the holiday. So Oktoberfest, everyone knows it means you hang out in your neighborhood, you get shit-faced, and you eat apple strudel and eat sausage. Granted, that sounds like an awesome day, and I love it. But what about the history? Well, okay, so Oktoberfest is a festive celebration that was established October in 1810 by Prince Ludwig of Bavaria, or Bavaria, however you want to pronounce that shit, crowned later as King Ludwig I, in celebration of his marriage to Princess Therese of Saxony-Hildburghausen. Now here's the cool thing, it wasn't just a festival that was only for nobles, you know, bumping elbows, talking about their great crops and, you know, all the people dying under them and all that jazz. It said it was open to the general public, so over 40,000 Bavarians attended it in Munich. Had a basically I forget how many days it is. Crap, I lost it. It's over 12 days or something. And here we are over 200 years later, year after year, and the celebration is held at the same time, give or take a few days, in the same location. Now again, it's done in October, but here comes a problem. So in spite of their name, Oktoberfest beers are not brewed in the fall. They're actually a spring beer, or also called a March beer or Marzen, and the reason being that was because before refrigeration, it was basically impossible to brew beer in the summer between the hot weather and then therefore bacterial infections. So you would brew it in the spring and then basically hide it away in cellars, you know, maybe with ice, maybe just dark cold cellars, and kind of just hide it away to get you through the summer. And then the idea would be they'd be left over for the fall. And then not only that would be fall would represent a time where harvest happens, so therefore you could harvest a lot of grains and start brewing again. So if that was the case, you needed to make sure you drank all the beer in your cellar to make as much space for the new beer. So the Marzen style was perfectly suited for the Oktoberfest festival because, hey, you got to drink all this beer anyway. It was meant to last through the summer, so you would drink these stronger, fuller-bodied spring beers in the fall. Hence, Oktoberfest beer.
Oktoberfest.
That was, I mean, that's the Reader's Digest of it. I mean, I'll say this though too: the festival really wasn't a beer festival at first. It was more of a built around a horse race and the agricultural show. It's dropped over time. Agricultural show actually still is pretty big over there, but it lasts 16 days. Just FYI. Now I lost that. But the beer association with this started around 1818 when the introduction of food and beer stands came into it. And then at that point, it really just took off, and that beer style, the Marzen, really basically became an Oktoberfest beer and was just associated with that festival and that party.
Now, I maybe I missed it. Did you skip over like the marriage of the Crown Prince Ludwig and all that?
The first thing I said was it was established in October of 1810 by the Prince Ludwig of Bavaria in celebration of his marriage to Princess Therese of Saxony-Hildburghausen. I'm proud to be able to say that name.
My headphone cut out a little bit, but no. Okay. So yeah, I was
See
just.
how
Do you imagine if you got married? Say when you get married to your lovely fiance, and at that point on, some other festival just begins. It's Novemberfest, right? I think you're getting married in November, or you're still.
7th. Yep.
And what if Novemberfest? That was like the first annual Novemberfest that initiated, and forever from that point. I mean, that'd be amazing. It's just
I'm planning on that happening, man. So
make it happen, man. I'm gonna make it.
Be prepared.
I'm on So that's good on the history right there. I want to compliment
Yeah,
that.
just I mean, there's a lot of history for this, especially with dealing with the spring beer and the why and the how of everything. And you can go through the history of how it's changed through the ages, but really comes down to just having a big fun party
Yeah.
during beer. You eat bratwurst, you have streusel, listen to fun polkas, things like that, and you just have a damn good time.
I need to get my my polka on. Man, when you said sausage right now, it makes me want to go get I need to go get me a sandwich or something. I'm drinking inside this hot closet right now. It's gonna make me antsy, but
I feel like a hot sandwich would make it worse, dude.
like a hot
Yeah,
sandwich.
does not sound like a good combination.
Oh, I'm in the closet and I'm hot. No, sounds good. A hot sandwich. Just saying, I'll eat 2
And
sandwiches
all
for
your
you.
clothes
But,
are gonna smell like that hot sandwich.
I don't know, man. That could work, man. You roll into work smelling like sausage. Get the big promotion.
Yeah. Well, what do you? I already said what I was drinking. I got the Lobo. The last one I'm going to be trying, and when I get to it, I got Full Sail. Oktoberfest. This comes out independent Full Sail. I don't know I think that's the brewery name there, but it's available only for 90 days. FS Pub Series. Boop, 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 boop.
Way to do it. Yeah, make it available for a short period of time.
What are you drinking, Rick? You just gave us a
Okay.
history lesson. You didn't tell me what you're drinking, bro.
I already finished my first one, but the first one I did was Sam Adams Oktoberfest, and I'll say this, Sam Adams might not be the best place. I mean, there's a lot of brews I've had of theirs which don't make me love them a whole ton. They're all right, but they have a special place in my heart because, Sam Adams definitely helped get me into craft brewing, and when I always say that, it's always with Sam Adams Oktoberfest in mind. It was just an incredibly flavorful lager available in the fall, and what happens in the fall when I was in college was I'd come home, see my family for a long weekend, and all the friends would show up to my house for a little get-together or party, and it would be like, all right, let's drink something half decent. And something that was really easy to find in South Jersey where there's not a lot of good beer was Sam Adams, and their Oktoberfest was just a perfect beer for the style and for the season. And I mean, I just fell in love with it. Oktoberfest quickly became my favorite style for a seasonal. It's something I always look forward to. And Sam Adams really, man, they do a damn good job with that. I mean, I've met beer snobs left and right that will still admit that come fall, they grab a 12-pack of Sam Adams Oktoberfest, and it's perfect on a Saturday. So it's good. I like it, but the one I'm really jonesing over this fall right now is the Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest. They've done it a few times in the past, but this time it was brewed in collaboration with Brauhaus Regale from Augsburg, Germany. So they got together with a true German brewery and made an Oktoberfest in collaboration with them. And I mean, it's got to be probably one of the best Oktoberfests I've ever had.
Well, I feel like
Very good.
Sierra Nevada and Sam Adams, they're not to reference Rogue, but I feel like they're more they strive away from non-traditional, they don't tend to strive away from traditional methods of brewing. So they're going to be kind of true representatives of what it is an Oktoberfest beer would be.
I will say true to that, but I'll say Sierra Nevada is a lot different than Sam Adams. I think Sierra Nevada definitely, they have stayed true to their craft beer roots a little bit more than Sam Adams. But no offense to Sam Adams. I mean, Jim Kolsch doesn't like to change with the time. He makes too many white beers and he's not bad. But Sierra Nevada, I've really been able to get behind and support through the years. No matter how much I've had, no matter what good beer I drink, a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale is still great. So their Oktoberfest just fits the bill.
Well, also, I had the Shiner Bock one. You get Shiner Bock over there in Florida, right? It should be like out there. Okay.
Yeah, we get that.
I don't know if you saw the Shiner Oktoberfest available over there. Yeah.
I haven't, partially because The only beers I've been focusing on have been Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest right now, and I've been going through some other Oktoberfests, like Thirsty Dog has one, and Goose Island's one I've had, and I've had a few others, but theirs that you just mentioned I have not yet. Mostly, again, for every one other Oktoberfest I have like 2 or 3 of the Sierra Nevada one. So,
well, Teresa,
I'm incredibly biased.
Have you guys tried the Shiner Oktoberfest?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I found it incredibly delicious. But of course, this is my first time to be like going down this road of Oktoberfest beers and being able to compare them all, I guess simultaneously, as you would put it. But what I find consistent with all Oktoberfest is they all have kind of this like copper color. Some are a little bit lighter, some are a little bit darker, but that's kind of the basic thing there. Somewhat of a malty backbone in there. Real crisp. I always get a crispness from all the Oktoberfest beers that I've gotten. Almost like a
spicy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's from spices or I get a little like sometimes a spicy hit from the alcohol on some of them, but just kind of sweet caramel, and you get the a roasted malt smell to them. This one has perfect, yeah. And maybe I've tried Oktoberfest beers in the past and I just wasn't aware of it, but it's a delicious beer.
Oh man, that's a damn shame. There's so many falls I've had where that's like all I drink.
Yeah.
Also, I'm getting a ton of feedback
on your.
I was hearing myself. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
For a minute there, all I heard was myself as I talked. It was weird.
Yeah. Narcissist. Hey, Teresa, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the Oktoberfest. So it's Oktoberfest from Karbach Brewery. Quick side note, I'm really glad to hear that Rick liked the Sam Adams Oktoberfest, because I really loved that one, and then I was like, oh no, wait, Sam Adams isn't as good as everything else. So I quit drinking it, but secretly loved it. So I'm glad to know that's kind of like a cult favorite.
Oh, it totally is. I've gotten myself into those shoes before where you're like, oh, I can't like this, and in the end, it comes down to screw it, like what you like, and
Yeah.
I might hate on St. Adams, but on Oktoberfest and their Winter Lager too were both really good beers, and I mean, I drank a ton of them growing up, and I still really like them. But their Oktoberfest is bar none probably their best beer in my book.
Yeah. I had the St. Arnold's Oktoberfest. They're also out of Houston, but my friend told me about this Karbach, and so I figured, branch out, try something new for the podcast. It's funny because he also told me that this was an award-winning beer, so I just did a little research on that since, Miguel, you said your beer was the best beer. And I was like, wait a minute, mine was supposed to be the best beer.
That's what the guy, he was a Lobo representative, so I mean, maybe he was lying to me, but he said it was the best beer in Texas.
So here's what I Googled. So the 2015 Great American Beer Festival, there's several categories. Obviously, they do gold, silver, bronze. So the Karbach Oktoberfest won the American Style Amber Lager, and they got a silver. So they did win an award. The Lobo beer is the gold winner for German Style Schwarzbier.
There you
But
go.
the actual Oktoberfest beer that won gold was Sons. But, I mean, I guess at least it's all from Texas, which I thought was pretty interesting.
So, okay, yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Is that competition nation? What's the scale of?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, wow. So,
Yeah, that's a nationwide. I just happened to find a website that listed all the Texas breweries that had awards. But yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting that all these Texas breweries got awards for German-style beers.
yeah, especially Rick over there with Cigar City, and they can't represent what Texas has to bring. That's really good.
What up?
Incredible.
You want to? Whoa,
Florida?
dude! You want to back that shit up? They make an Oktoberfest, but it might not be their best beer. But they make
I'm just
damn
saying,
good.
I mean, I don't know why Texas beers are winning all the contests. I don't know, bro.
Hey, I have a question for Rick or whoever did the research. What's up with the blue checkered? Because I see that on all. Well, I'm gonna say.
Oh, that's right.
75%
Look.
of Oktoberfest.
No,
beers.
that's.
What's the thing?
I would say Sierra Nevada's is their orange color, but it's the checker too. I don't know.
Most
That's
of the ones I see are blue and white.
Let me see
Yeah,
what
me
full
too.
has.
Shit, that's actually a really... And Goose Islands is the same way now that I think about it. I don't know.
Miguel, and who's somebody tweeted us a can of Oktoberfest, and it had the blue checkered flag too. That's why I got confused, and I was like, wait, they're all blue checkered flags.
Yeah, well, Lobo has that same design. I don't know if you heard me comment on that,
Ooh,
but
it's based on the Bavarian flag.
Oh.
Bavarian.
I keep saying that. I got it. My Joyzy's popping out. Yo, where's the Bavarian flag, yo? I need a cup of coffee.
It's because you just went over there. You visited home, and they put that back in you, man.
I know, but there's not that much of an accent. But for some reason, it does pop out.
Oh wait, you're from Jersey?
I'm from Jersey, son.
Oh, I can't be a part of this anymore.
Jersey. I don't know anything about Jersey.
So the next time you're on, are you gonna have a spray tan and you're gonna have blonde, or you like gonna frost tip your hair and?
Those are New Yorkers. Those are Long Islanders, and all that shit coming down to Jersey. Just FYI, they vacation here and ruin our.
What?
No fist bumping, Miguel. No, that is not.
What?
We are called the Garden State for a damn good reason because.
Does this remind you of home?
No, it does not. Take me to a cranberry bog, and that will remind me of home. Those are the field trips I went on growing up. I kid you not. I grew up once a year. I would go to a cranberry bog, or just farms and shit. There's mountains and farms, man.
Is a cranberry bog like a euphemism for the dive bar, where you meet a couple of women of the night, perhaps, and engage in some debauchery?
Well, I mean, that would happen, but no, cranberry bog is a goddamn bog for cranberries. Like those ocean spray commercials everyone sees, I can sit there and explain how it works and why they're standing in a water filled of floating cranberries. So,
can I call you the situation now?
Hang on, why are they standing in water of cranberries?
Okay,
that's all I know.
So for our Oktoberfest listeners, we're going to take a sidetrack and learn about cranberries. So no dinosaurs this week, only cranberries.
This is Storm Sally, right?
Okay, so when you grow cranberries, they grow on the ground, like in little tiny short shrubberies and bushes and shit. Well, you always try to kind of grow them in like low-lying areas. And it used to be you would dam a river, and when you're ready for it, you would release it, but you can also just irrigate it and flood it with pipes now. But what you do is you grow your cranberries, and when it's cranberry season, you flood the field they're in, the little basin, river, or pipes, fill it up. Then you go out with think like a Mark Twain kind of paddle boat going down the Mississippi. Only instead of propelling you, it's in front and it's agitating up all the bushes under the water, releasing all the berries. And what will happen is if a cranberry is ripe and ready to go, it will float, and all the bad cranberries sink. Therefore, all the good cranberries float. Therefore, the cranberry people in the ocean spray commercials are in waders in the water, and they're surrounded by cranberries. Then you kind of do what they do with like oil spills and put out like those ropes and buoys and kind of just corral all the cranberries in.
So there's oil in there?
No, damn it! It's just how you corral the cranberries. It's like with the Miguel. God damn it!
I'm beer 3 in, or beer me 3 in. Never mind, that doesn't make sense.
Look, I'm from New Jersey. I take my cranberries seriously here, son.
I just think that the walls are literally closing in on Miguel. They're in the closet.
I need to get out of here!
He looks crazy.
I'm not crazy. You're crazy. That's crazy.
So that was Rick's Cranberry Corner. Come on back, y'all.
Heyo.
I like that.
Thank you for teaching me those things, the situation. I really learned a lot.
Who invited this asshole?
Okay. Last time we were talking about having Randall on the show, you were like, I miss Randall, I want him back. And now we bring him back. This is what happens.
Can I rescind that statement?
Oh, no, I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. I love Rick. He's a great guy, but then he said he was from Jersey, and I was like, well, you've now opened yourself up to a whole new world of criticism and ridicule.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Rick.
Just for the sake
I'm going to call you Ricky S. How about that?
You made it even worse. I'm Rev Rick, at least. Come on.
Okay, Revy Ricky S. How about that?
For the sake of staying on topic, Randall, do you have some favorite Oktoberfest beers?
I don't remember. I mean, I do remember enjoying the Samuel Adams one, but that was way, way back when, and that's like a gateway beer, you know?
And I didn't think you guys when you were saying the gateway, but I'm a big fan of the Yeah, Samuel Adams.
Yeah,
Oktoberfest.
it's the marijuana of beer, if you use 80s drug parlance. But if I had to really choose something that you'd really want to just go and grab if it was in a cooler or whatever, I'd go with the Shiner Oktoberfest.
And it was I was surprised because usually Shiner doesn't come off as a really. It's like a standard beer for me now. I don't know why. It's just like, oh yeah, Shiner Bock, and it just has like a normal taste to me. Nothing actually pops out for me. But when I was tasting it, and maybe because I'm actually getting more into Oktoberfest this year, but yeah, man, the mild hop profile in it really, I could taste the difference between that and just regular Shiner Bock, and I'm not like I guess I don't know, beer aficionado.
Here we go.
Aficionado.
No, don't tell him.
Help him,
Oh, I'm
goddammit.
sorry. I'm sorry.
So what's
That's a shame.
the first stout we tried together, Miguel? Old what?
Rasputin. See?
There we go. Beautiful. Horribly pronounced. I love it.
Little warm.
Rasputa.
Little warm.
Rasputin. Yeah.
Rasputin.
I was just thinking about the Shiner Oktoberfest. Since they're like a German brewery, I mean, don't they have to get that right?
Spotzel, right?
See? Spetzel?
Spaten.
Spetzel? I can't say it.
Spotzel. Yeah, I need to go visit. I mean, that brewery's only a couple hours from Corpus. I don't know why I haven't visited yet, but I need to go. While we're on the subject of visiting breweries, shout out to Lazy Beach Brewing. I've gone there probably the past 3 weekends and have yet to give them a shout out on their show. They have shown interest of giving us some samples, and by us I mean me. And they took me on this like private tour of their brewery this past weekend. I enjoyed looking at it. It's a small brewery. It's one of those breweries that I call them parking garages. That's what it looks like. It's just like one of those like parking garages, like lined up in these large storage units. And they had a nice pumpkin ale and another brown ale that I really enjoyed. It's like Down with the Brown. Another one, it's it's Wheat in Heat. Beach in Wheat. Something like that. But terrific brewing out there. So I want to get some more of those beers out here. I still need to find out if I can send Rick beer through the postal service. I mean, that's
Okay.
No.
So here's how you do it, Miguel. You can't send beer, but you can send olive oil. Wink, wink. Just
What are you
saying.
doing?
It's not the most legal of things, but you can do it.
we're winking at each other.
To anyone
That's-
listening to this podcast after it's been recorded, the winks that are going on right now, I'm not saying that I can wink, but it's a moment for sure.
I'm going to report y'all to USPS.
Oh.
Yeah, we probably should have talked about it on the podcast.
It's like I'm
Yes.
reporting you guys.
All I said was he could mail me olive oil. My winks are completely independent of the statement. Just letting y'all know.
Will do. Yeah. I'll definitely get that.
You know, his winks were borderline sexual harassment over here, so I don't know what to do with myself now.
I'm gonna
Thanks.
Quick shout out to Jacob, who was supposed to be our guest on the show, but for whatever reason, technical difficulties. But he's saying that Blue Bonnet Brewery has a very tasty Oktoberfest beer, as well as a Beta, which is the one he's trying. He says the Beta reminds him of real ale. So thank you for sharing that, and we're following him on Twitter now. If you're not following us on Twitter, you should be at Empty Rant. Well, that's pretty much the news, and we hit a lot of Oktoberfest beers here. I'm gonna still keep on my sampling, and whenever you guys switch beers, let me know so we can keep going back to that. But I feel like we need to talk about this SAB Miller. Do you say Sab Miller? Do you say SAB
I
Miller?
say Sab. I gotta save time, man. I can't say SAV. Look how much time that took. Sab. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ricky knows what's going on. Right,
Well,
Ricky?
The
Don't know who you're talking to.
the $100 billion. We're talking $1 billion buyout from AB InBev. Ridiculous, large amount of money. Do you think this is just typical competition, or do you think this is a way for AB InBev to stifle craft beer? It's like a secret war on craft beer, and they're stifling the competition that's coming from craft beer by this buyout and by acquiring these wholesalers. This law that was put in, I guess, it's still put in, part of the post-era prohibition era. Post-era prohibition. You know what I'm saying, though. It requires breweries to have a wholesaler in order to sell to watering holes and bars and stuff like that.
Three-tier distribution.
There you go.
I don't know, man. After I saw that the justice, like, it never really dawned on me that it was, hitting craft beer not by acquiring them, because we've talked about that, right, with the Goose Island and now with Lagunitas. But this is
and
kind of like
Elysian and stuff like that.
Right. This is kind of a different approach. I feel like the fact that the Justice Department is looking into it, I'm like, oh my God, that is shifty. But
yeah, well, because it's borderline having a monopoly. I mean, it's just
right.
It's silly, and I mean, like you said, there's two ways. It's either you buy the craft breweries, like buy the small breweries, or you do something like this, and you have so much money and manpower that you're not even lining the politicians' pockets at that point. You just put them in your own pocket. Like your lobbyists are going to be so strong, it's silly. I mean, yeah, that's why the antitrust people in the government are looking at this like, okay, is this legal?
Right.
Is there anything shady going on here? So, I mean, we'll see what's going to happen in the next few months. I'm curious.
Yeah, the three-tiered distribution system was definitely eye-opening to me. I didn't realize that they still had to go through it, and that was a result of the Prohibition era. And the reason that law is still in place is due to how much AB InBev lobbies, and they're able to keep that law still in place. And here it is, being able to. Maybe they anticipated this one day, They're just like, we got to keep this law alive because one day we're gonna have to play this card.
Yeah, I mean it's bullshit. I mean, and if you buy beer at any brewery you go to, it's because they're basically using loopholes.
Right.
Because by using the three-tier system, the only way you could buy beer at the brewery would be they would sell it to a distributor to buy it right back and then sell it, which would mean it would never leave their building. They would just exchange money, which is just bull.
Right. I know that it's only been pretty recent in Texas even that you can actually buy beer at the brewery, because before it was like, the place that we go to, it's like you're paying for tokens and in exchange for the tokens you get beer, but you're not actually paying for the beer. Something, some kind of loophole-y thing. I think that's changed. I don't know if it's in Texas, actually. It might just be in Austin.
I know in Florida, the loophole was actually set in motion thanks to, I want to say Budweiser, because they had a spot at Universal. No, it was Busch Gardens. They had a spot at Busch Gardens where you used to be able to go and get free samples and things like that, and it was basically using like a tourism loophole to be able to sell beer on site. So what happened was all the breweries in Florida started using that loophole to their advantage, and they would say, oh, well, the tap room is basically like a tourism destination, and therefore like they were using it as like a tourism clause or whatever, and that's how they were able to sell through their tap room.
Right.
And I'm assuming that's what's still in place now, because you can go get samples on the tour, and at Lazy Beach Brewing, the guy makes an effort to. It's so funny because it's such a small brewery, and you're really just going into one room when they're showing you the tour, because it's just like, okay, look over there, that's this process, and then look over there, it's this process. Behind me is this, and that's the tour. And I think he's forced to give at least one or two of those to be held accountable to this law. It's like, cause, I don't know if there's a lot of real interest in taking the tour, but he gathers some interest from people, and there's going to be some more breweries popping up around here. So, I mean, I'm just anticipating the competition that we're going to give Cigar City with all these awards.
Oh, I know, right? Those little like garage breweries in Texas are going to give Cigar City a run for their money. I don't know what they're going to do.
They're blowing up. I mean, you're over there dealing with Orlando, whatever. I mean.
Exactly. They should be called just Orlando whatever. Not even Orlando Brewing. They're now Orlando whatever. Like, you want a pretzel? I guess.
Orlando Organics. There you go. Randall, any input on the Sad Miller? We're not gonna say SAB. Sorry, we're saying for short. But the Sad Miller $100 billion buyout. Any? I don't know if you have any input, but just I don't know. I feel like you have input on competition in general, like monopolizing of smaller businesses, mom and pop shops. possibly, maybe. I don't know.
It's going to happen, but it's not going to save them. It's just a way for them to try to save whatever market share they got, but given that the entire structure of the industry is changing and turning more towards, I don't know, like back into a startup style model of doing things, maybe analogous to Silicon Valley in a sense, but early on Silicon Valley. So the big monoliths have to, I don't know, the only way I think it's called like banding up, even though it's really a buyout, in order to save whatever market share they got. I mean, for those who don't drink beer and don't study the economics of alcoholism, you could think of it as analogous to like Microsoft and Apple buying up each other and then making a big deal out of whatever market share they had in order to fight off phone startups in China or whatever the hell.
No, that's a good example. I was just thinking about. Oh wow, I just blanked out on my thought there. But whatever it may be, I was trying to say about the competition. Oh, that craft beer offers. I feel like whether that passes or not, whatever's going on, like I'm still going to continue buying my craft beer from the local vendors, given that I won't be able to try anything, say something a local vendor or a local craft beer brewer over there in Florida, and vice versa for Rick or even Hawaii. But it's still part of that experience of going to this tap room, going to this tour, seeing how it's made, trying the beer there, and I'm still willing to travel different parts of Texas and go there. And I think that the willingness and the experience that people appreciate and are willing to travel to go to these different breweries is one thing that is going against AB InBev. In terms of, you can stifle the competition. Maybe I can't get this beer. Maybe I can't get Lobo at every gas station like I can Coors or Bud Light, but that doesn't matter to me because I'm still willing to travel to their brewery and get it straight from the source. And I think does that make sense? What I'm saying? I don't know if it's.
Well, I think we've kind of to your point, we sort of talked about that and how is the craft beer movement really about craft beer, and do I want to be able to get Cigar City here in Texas, or is it more about, well, I have to go to this place, kind of like food, my farm to table experience here is going to be different than it is in California, than it is in New York. A Maine lobster sandwich is going to be, it's different in Maine. You're not going to have the same experience in Kansas.
That's a really good example, yeah, especially like the beer I would get straight from their actual tap room of the brewery, just like getting pizza in New York as opposed to getting it from Grimaldi's here or something like that. It's just like here in Corpus Christi.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I went to the Big Bend Brewery, and they were young. They were maybe 15 months old when I visited the brewery, and everything on tap was great. All the beers were amazing. I took a 6-pack home. Did not translate well into canned beer. I've had it on tap here now that they're in Austin, and that was like a full, year later. And it's still really good on tap. It's not the same as when I had it at the brewery, but that's, I don't know. Is it the craft beer movement, or is it just a movement towards more local, homegrown? I can't.
God, I would argue both. I mean, local, craft beer is homegrown. I mean, it is the local thing. I was reading an article about it. How I don't know if it was millennials. Maybe it was millennials. One of those articles.
Millennials.
But basically talking about how like the newer generations, like our generation, and the ones younger than us, are changing how restaurants and the food business is interacting because they're eating differently. People in our generation, if you're under 30, and over, I suppose, but definitely the under 30 crowd they're not the people going to Olive Garden and Outback Steakhouse and all these chains. They want to go out and seek that local restaurant and have something local. They're the people that go to the breweries.
I think it's amazing that's a thing. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think that's like a fantastic movement, that there's a push from a younger crowd to eat at more local, just intimate areas. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I see that being in the seafood industry, and that like I think it's ridiculous that if you live in the middle of the country, that you have a demand for salmon and tuna. Like I'm sorry, you live in Kansas or you live in North Dakota. Eat catfish. Like, I think it's silly that you're demanding fish from half the world away. Like, that is such a waste of resources to get that there. I mean, I'm spoiled living in Florida, so like I got seafood all around me, but there's other food I don't have. Like, I find it silly that there's such a push to have any food you want any time of the year, and I go same with beer and same with anything else. Like, I like the idea of going to restaurants in my neighborhood where, oh, here's a list of all the farms we shop from in Jacksonville, Florida. Oh, here's the breweries on our tap list. And they're all from North Florida. Obviously, I would love to have a California brewer, and I do. You know, Stone might be there, but I dig the more, you know, the bigger drive for going local.
It's part of that experience. When I go to, I'm going to Chicago for a week in December, and when I went there last year, we hit up a bunch of local restaurants / breweries, and I wanted to eat there more than just like anything else. Of going even to their like popular places that are chain restaurants there that aren't available in Texas. I was like, yeah, screw all that. But I mean, I'm 29. I don't know if I'm considered a millennial in your definition of millennials.
29 too. I got no fucking clue. I got no clue, man. What
I don't know if I don't know. It's just like
we're lost. We're lost, man. We're lost boys. Well, Randall is our Peter Pan.
Let
What's up, Pan?
me lead you to paradise. Ricky F.
While we're on this, I just switched over to Full Sail O-Fest, independent. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever, I'm just reading off the label. It said they had about 90 days left on that. It's a 5.7% ABV. Check out that color. I mean, it's a little bit darker than the other one had. It's almost like a ruddy amber, if you'll have it. But this does not. This doesn't taste like your typical Oktoberfest. And this one, I feel like it's a lot more fruity than what the other ones have. So I would say this is probably a little bit further from the traditional Oktoberfest, but that's just my note on that.
Okay.
Shut up. Randall. So we're coming up to the end of the podcast. I wanted to end on maybe Teresa, you want to fill us in on your search for the great pumpkin beer? How's that going? How's the research going?
It's going. You've asked me that like 3 times.
Yeah, no. How many times are we going to talk about this?
This 3, and I have no reports. I'm bad. That was it. That one blog is all I had.
Did you report? Wait, did I ask you already?
Twice. Already.
Is this? Oh, I just have it in my notes. I'm going down the checklist. So you know what? One of the more popular blog posts that we have. Sorry if I forgot about it. This is beer number 4, and I was trying to get through some of these, but this isn't happening right now. And I'm in a closet. It's incredibly warm in here.
He's going into a beerlarium, folks.
If you haven't checked out Teresa's blog, please go to emptyrant.com. It's the second post on our blog right now. It might be moving into the third. Either way, just go to the Beer Me 3 tab and you'll see all Teresa's stuff on there. It relinks to her personal blog she has on there that she talks about. What's an easy way to access your blog? I guess through your Twitter account, right?
Yeah, hit me up on Twitter. I'm on WordPress. It's just I'm gonna put my name out on the podcast, but yeah, if you follow me on Twitter, you can easily get to my blog.
Hit up Teresa's Twitter at SlimT1213. 13. Okay, I always want to say 1, 2, 3, but it's 1213. So SlimT 1213. And then Homeboy's over here. What's your screen name? It's like P-Rog, the fire of.
Oh right, you're supposed to tell me.
Oh yeah, you're like the situation on Twitter, right?
The fortuitous.
No, okay, so let Mr. Cranberry the situation tell you about this.
Reverend Cranberry the situation.
Reverend Cranberry the situation. Okay, so it's Puro Goeth. The E is leet speak, so the 3 equals an E, just like a 4 would equal an A. 7 is T, so on and so forth. But so there was
4 equals an A?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's leet speak, L-E-E-T or L33T.
Is this in hexadecimal?
I don't know. It's some nerdy Haxor bullshit shit.
Dewey Decimal? Let me write this down real quick.
It's from high school.
Would Matt Damon use this on Mars?
What?
So, there was an old comic. There was a web comic I used to read called Mega Tokyo, and it was 2 characters, and the one character had a character in a video game. Talk about meta. It was I used to know the game. I don't remember anymore. It was a real game because they played games. And the character's name was Piro or Piro Goeth. So I took that and then threw the 3 instead of the E in lead speak. It's corny, but it's something that's just stuck for a while, and it's always open. It's always open to like have that screen name wherever I go, which is nice.
That's cool.
It is unique whenever you find a screen name that you can access anywhere.
From a webcomic. Super
Webcomic.
meta.
That's cool, man. I'm proud that you found that and you discovered that and you're able to use that now as your screen name. So
It's shame on your feek. Prost.
I don't think I'm gonna get to the pumpkin shandy today. I'm just gonna save that for later. I was trying to try
Well, it's
it out.
not an Oktoberfest, so you shouldn't drink it, you bastard.
Whoa! Okay, man. Okay, we're done.
Stick to
Someone's
the
an
theme.
angry drunk.
Stick to the
As-
theme. Come on.
Okay, so finishing up on the theme as we're at the end of the podcast. Any more last words on Oktoberfest? Do you want to? How is your current beer right now? Did you switch? I don't know if there's some other beers that you wish to try. I mean, any last words on Oktoberfest?
It's the best fall seasonal in my book, so drink 'em up. They go down quick and easy.
That's what she said.
Oh.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I said as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, "Yep, waiting for it."
I
Yeah,
love The
that's
Office.
what she said.
That's
Boom.
also what she said.
Yeah.
That's a result of The Office. I mean, I watch The Office pretty religiously. Like every day I wake up, it's a new episode of The Office for me, and I just play it on my iPad while I eat my cereal in the morning and look at my trades for the day. So
Nice.
just become, I don't know, honest to what I do, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Well,
Oh, you know what I want to say? Going back to the buyout, just real quick, that I found Lagunitas at the Grimaldi's restaurant where we ate pizza. And I think that's a result of the recent buyout. Then they just redid their menus, and now Lagunitas IPA is available at tap at this chain restaurant. I was just like,
See, well, okay, and now there's a lot of downsides, but a huge distribution footprint is an upside to things like this happening.
yes, but
You can now get beer where you couldn't get it before.
yeah, exactly. And I enjoyed for the first time at Lagunitas IPA with my pizza, and I was like, oh wow, this is amazing. But you know,
Yeah.
hey, I don't have music to play us out right now, but I mean, because I'm on this other laptop. Teresa, any last words? You didn't really say anything. I'm not gonna ask you about the search for the pump, because apparently I've asked you too many times.
Are you sure?
okay.
Are you sure you don't want to hear about the pumpkin?
Yeah,
Put
but how is the search
Wait.
for the Great Pumpkin Beer Cone?
Oh my god.
I'm so tired. I don't even have like a good smartass response, and I'm really disappointed in myself.
You
Like,
just need to go run another
Insane.
easy 10K and just rejuvenate your mind cells. And
I think it's because I'm mentally freaking out about my race, and I'm like, I should be packing. I don't know.
when is your race? Tomorrow or this weekend?
Sunday.
Sunday. And how many miles?
Sunday. 13.1.
That's a
13.
half marathon, right?
Yep.
How many marathons will this, or half marathons will this be?
This is my third half marathon.
Wow, that's
return to the location of my first one, so I'm hoping to PR. And yeah.
Teresa, are you one of those people? Are you one of those people that put the stickers on their car and that say like 13.1 and 20?
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
Teresa, I'll be in
Judge
Austin
us.
October 28th. I don't know what you're going to be doing that Tuesday, but maybe we could do a podcast that day. But this place, I want to go here if you want to join me there. Pint House, pizza.
Minicast. Yes, I love Pint House.
Yes, I want to
It's a
go
great
there.
place. I feel like I'm yelling. I'm sorry.
Live cast?
October 28th. If you can
Yes.
arrange that, I'll be there. So I'm going down for
Calendar.
with
Calendar.
work related. That's how we're putting this. Hey, Randall, thanks for joining us for another podcast, and I hope you join us more often. And I hope also we can get Jacob. I know Jacob's watching right now. Jacob, we need to work your technical difficulties out, and we'll get you back on the podcast. Don't think we don't like you, because we do. All right. Especially Rick. Rick is sorry for what happened. Nonetheless,
Apparently, yeah.
Randall, how's it feel to have joined back in after such a, I don't know, long leave of absence.
Yeah, it's all right.
Uh,
Oh, you jackass! Why do we invite you back? Anyways, all right. So this is episode 12 of the Beer Me 3 podcast. Like you can, as the Beer Me 3, or I should say, Empty Rant podcast. It's a Beer Me 3 episode. This is episode 12, and we covered Oktoberfest. Delicious beer. There's a lot of. I almost feel like we need to do Oktoberfest part 2. Like
Electric Boogaloo?
Oh, I get that reference.
I don't. Explain yourself real quick, because that's gonna bother me the rest of the night. What does that mean? Electric
It means
Boogaloo?
go to Wikipedia and look it up.
Yeah, you
Don't
gotta learn
do
that
that.
shit, Miguel.
Don't do that. Just tell me.
You know what? I'm
Random-
gonna go. Let me Google that for you.
Yeah.
Step your game up, Miguel.
Rando has a tendency that whenever I ask a question, he goes, "Let me Google that for you," whatever the link is, and then sends it to me. And it's an actual like animation of this thing Googling whatever it is I asked him about. And I was like, "What are you
Yeah,
sending
it's
me?"
a good
about?
website.
That just takes way more effort than for you just to tell me what it's about. But whatever it may be. Anyways, all right, guys. Well, signing off here. Pretend there's music playing, and you guys
Okay.
have a good night.
I put
All
it
right.
in the chat, so go ahead and click on that link.
All right. Good night. See you in another 2 weeks. Woo.